Game changer is a quite clickbaity word on this YouTube platform, but if you will see those points, especially the first one, like is it the tropical or the sidereal zodiac, then you will see that this is really changing everything. So in this video, I want to share these points in my astrological career when I've learned something and then I thought, oh my, this will really improve my readings, at least 4 times better, more clarity. Now it will be more easy and we'll get faster. So here I'm sharing with you those 7 points. So first of all, we have the zodiac. And there's this tropical, which is used in Western astrology, and we are using the star zodiac or sidereal zodiac. This is based on the star. We are taking the special star, the Spica, and 180 degrees from that star, we are starting the Eris. In Western tradition, it is based on the equinoxes. In the spring, equinoxes is the start of the Eris. So the Eris will be in different point. And therefore, in Western astrology, I will have Cancer ascendant. In the Vedic astrology, I am Gemini ascendant. So there is this 24 degrees, and this difference between these two is called the Ayanamsha. You can see this is the game changer because it changes everything. So some planets will be in the same sign if they are less than 6-7 degrees, and other can change the signs and also the houses, right? They are in Western astrology different house systems. So when I've switched from Western to Vedic, I've just run the software, I put my details and I saw all of these yogas, the dasha and the varga. The yoga is the planetary position, the planetary relation, which are giving some specific action, activity in our life. So one planet is giving something, but if 2 planets are having some relation, then this is much more powerful than single position of the planet in the house or sign. And then we have this dasha, so we know in which year, which planet is activated. This is also specific to Vedic astrology. And then we have this beautiful concepts of Varga charts when we have the extension of houses. So now 4th house of property is not only the everything about properties in the 4th house, but we can extend it to a additional chart, and in this additional chart for property called the Chatur Tamsha, we can see the construction, selling, buying, the tenant, the people who are renting the property, misfortune of the property, the loans for property, all of those details which are only restricted to the property, not to confuse that with other loans or other partnership or other selling. We can check which period is activated, which planets are good and bad, so which sides of property are more favorable, where we have more luck in just properties. So this is a beautiful system which is giving us much more details. So as if you can imagine, if this level of detail is not there, the astrology is restricted to some kind of overlay or superstructure, which can be just some added meaning to our life. But then, because it cannot be falsified, every structure has the equal valid place. So it's very hard to check if that is right or that is wrong. For example, moon in Capricorn or moon in Aquarius, if we don't get into details or we cannot connect it to that specific part of our life, it's very hard to say that this is more right or wrong. To do that, to make astrology falsifiable, we definitely need to have access to much more details, which we can find in our lives, and therefore we can correlate, and therefore also we can check if that is right or wrong. The second game changer things is the karaka and arudha. So if we are expanding our analysis to the houses from planet, this is called the Graal Lagna, where you are treating the planet as the ascendant and you are counting the houses from that specific planet. Then 3rd house from Moon, 3rd house from Jupiter, 3rd house from Mars, and 3rd house from Mercury. To its all 3rd house, it will have completely different meaning for all of these points. And this is also very valuable because this is giving us the additional detail. And as you can assume, this is really changing the whole thing because now you are exposed to a totally different level of using Vedic astrology. So this karaka, this planet, when we are treating it as the ascendant, is very important to answer the questions of if, where and when, but especially if you will be married, if you will have a job, if you will have a promotion. So all of these blessings, they are coming through the planet, through the karaka into our life. If we only use the lords, it's like the sculpting in the air. There is no substance, there is no sculpture, there is no material to mold, right? So therefore we need that dance between our desires, our body, which is the lagna, and also the substance. And by relationship of these two, we can define the karma. What is the karma of that role to the substance, to what we can get from the external world, and by which also our mind is satisfied. Therefore, this karaka, it has this double meaning. The external, which is showing from where this blessing is coming, but also the internal, because it shows the tushti, the satisfaction of the mind. And of course, the arudha and upapada are so important because the arudha is enabling us to categorize things, to also create those demarcation lines. Are you into the poetry or maybe into technology, right? If you are working successfully in entertainment, you need to have Mercury or Venus aspecting your arudha lagna or joining or having some important influence, which then also needs to be proved the strongest in the Navamsha. Similarly, if you are working in technology, you need to have that Mars blessing. If you are working in economy or fintech, all of these new jobs, you need to have this Mercury blessings. And for academia, you need to have Jupiter. For the government-related job, you need to have a Sun. So this is helping us to create those compartments of color and group and belonging. So the same we can do with the upapada. Therefore, the upapada being the social contract and also being the contract written also in our minds. This is also these two combining meaning are the exact definition of the arudha. Therefore, through the upapada, this is the only way to see when and if this social contract like marriage can survive or be broken. And we have the Navamsha. So one thing is that there are the specific methodology which is given us through Navamsha, which would be very hard to see from Rashi. Like, for example, timing of health. It's so easy with the Navamsha. Or finding the best, most successful profession. Without Navamsha, it's very hard. And the second thing is that through the Navamsha, we know what is important in the Rashi. Because in Rashi, we'll have so many options, but through the Navamsha, we can see what will ultimately prevail. Like you can be involved in the music production, like me, Sun in Navamsha Lagna, and also involved in the Jyotisha, Sun, Ketu, Jupiter, in the Trikona to Navamsha Lagna, right? So this will prevail because it's supported by the luck. And luck will ultimately survive this test of time. So the Navamsha is showing this. What will ultimately survive the test of time and will give also the inner satisfaction, because it's all about the internal life of the person. So therefore, you know how we are criticizing this newspaper astrology. We say, oh, this is only the sun based. Or Gemini or Aquarius. For us, this is very primitive already. But relatively, we can also, in the same way, relate to the Rashi. If you are only interpreting the Rashi chart, how many people will be born in this 2-hour segment, right? But there will be totally different. Like maybe you have already seen 2 charts which are almost identical, and the difference would be the Navamsha. Navamsha can change how you read the Rashi chart. Then we have Dasha. Dasha is beautiful because it's like living many lives in one life. So it's like young age, the middle age, and the old age. They can be totally different. Some people have the first phase, the best. The young, the childhood was the best part. For some, it was horrible, but they are thriving very well in the old age. For some, the middle age was the best. So there is a way to see the chart for these 3 phases of life. And similarly, if you have like 20 years of Venus Mahadasha or even 10 years of the Moon Mahadasha, this is like a big span of life. And your chart will also be seen from that specific point of view of that planet. So you cannot really start reading the chart without the Dasha. So there is a way, or there is a proposition, there is a suggestion, there is a school maybe of approaching the chart reading starting with the Dasha. Because it is also said by the Shastra that we should start with the Kala, Desha, and Patra. We should see the time, the place, and circumstances. And the time is the Dasha. So you can also imagine when you were, for example, 20, your life was completely different than when you are 40. Maybe your views has changed, maybe your ideals, maybe partnership, maybe friend circle, maybe your attitude. You are a completely different person. So therefore, let's imagine that you are predicting for 40 years, lady or guy, yogas or a chart of a 20 year of 8. This is completely different person now, right? So therefore the dasha is very important. And also because of that, we have the special chart for each dasha, which is called the dasha pravesh chakra. So it's like having many lives in one life. The 5th point would be variation dasha. You thought, oh, I will now have a peaceful life of single, no relationships, beautiful 6th house dasha. But suddenly you are finding out that you are in a 12th or 7th house dasha, which is making you married. Oh my God, I want to go back to my independent lifestyle, right? I also see that the client's consultation, the person has some awareness that, oh, I'm in a Saturn-Rahu period, which seemingly should be very bad, but I'm really cannot complain. It's quite nice. And then you say, no, you are in the Jupiter dasha because of the variation. So variation dashas are the specific dasha for people who are not going the mainstream, the main path. They are not responding to that social stimuli by the default response. They are like karmic autism. They have this social cues are not read very well. Their independent life are very strong, and therefore this is very good for developing some, we could say, like own knowledge, own path when the Graal Lagna is strong. And then when the moon Kendra is strong, then the person can go down from the mountains and share all of these revelations to the society if Kendra to moon is also strong. Therefore, if the moon is not in Kendra, not in Trikona in your chart, you are having this other path. Have different clock, you are going in different train, and therefore we need a special map for this train, where this train is going, because it's not going by those path of the society. The next 6th one is yoga formation. Because from the beginning, we see, oh, the planet is in 9th house, so we are only seeing that 9th house. But then if you learn a lot of yoga formation, then we know that the planet can act as dispositor for other planets in Rashi and in the Navamsha. It can act or activate the planet through conjunction, through the parivartana and drishti, the mutual drishti. This is very important in timing, because if you now add all of these options, you will have a scenario when one planet can give 5 options. And sometimes the first one, which is more obvious, is not the one for which the client is coming to your consultation. The main one may be activated by the drishti, for example. So you have to take all of these options into account. And therefore, this yoga formation is also a game changer, because if you learn about this, then you are treating the one planet as the giver, many options and many events, which later has to be restricted to or filtered out to more accurate what will really happen in that period. And the last game changer is the 7th curse. Very important, because through knowledge or diagnosing or seeing the chart through the, we could say, glasses of the curse, we know the whole mechanism, the dynamics, right? Just like in psychology or in therapy, we can see that the person is trapped through some psychological flow or deficit or some, we could say, cognitive dysfunction, and is going in that same bad direction. There may be a different scenario, there could be some difference in nuances, but the mechanism stays the same, right? It could be satisfying others, it could be codependence, could be ignoring the social cues, or having problems with gratitude, or many things depending on the chart. But imagine now if we go one step higher, because the psychology, the knowledge of the mind, and there we have this karmic things, which is even more deep and more, we could say, in the root of our existence. Therefore, by analyzing the curse, we also see that all of the suffering, all of this problem can be ultimately restricted to this game, to this machine or vahana of the curse. And this is beautiful, because in that we can see what is the trap, how it starts, and then we have this outcome or impact. If we add the arudhas, we will have this additional information of what's going on. So again, in one lifetime, it can be like 6 or 7 situations, and each will be seemingly different. But in essence, all of them, we could say, or the experienced astrologer will be able to restrict all of these to that one curse in the chart. And second point to this 7th point is a therapeutic point of view, because from that point of view, we can say that we are successful when we are properly giving the mantra to the client, because now he can act metaphysically with that curse or with that problem in the chart. If we get to understand that this is all karmic, we could say trap, then the same source, the Vedic texts, are also providing us with the solution to this through this beautiful process of the sound, right? The change through the sound, which is the mantra sadhana. So each curse will have a specific mantra by which we can start dissolving it or blocking the negative, or trying at least to get help from other benefic plants in the chart to slow down or restrict the effect of the curse. And also in the chart, we can see the qualities of the curse. Is it easily to remove? Is it drita or adrita? We can also see what was the motive behind. What was like intellect was involved, which is a little bit less auspicious, and therefore the curse can be a little bit stronger. Even for those who want to get more details, you can even open the past life chart and then get the details how the curse was created, and also through which means, or with it was related to partnership or career life. And then going back to Rashi chart, you can see the impact in this life. So through Vedic astrology, we can get this awareness how these problems, these challenges in our life, how they are connected to that one curse, and also to work on that through this metaphysical means of the mantra sadhana. Okay, guys, so I think that these 7 are most important. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? If you have another propositions, other options, or do you agree to some of these points? I always love to read your comments. Thanks for watching till the end and being here with me on this channel. Join our Discord community. You can find the link in the description. If you would like to get the consultation with me on the Zoom 60 or 90 minutes when we analyze your Rashi, Navamsha and the Varga charts with the timing, the remedy, positive and negative, blocking negative, then hit me up with this email here and we can schedule such consultation for you. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe for more, and you are still hungry, then please consider watching this one.